Hey ladies, how's it going? I wanted to come on and give you an update. I am about 3.5 weeks postpartum. Thursday will make 28 days postpartum from delivering the twin girls. So I just wanted to come on and let you all know that I am doing well. I did come on and talk about the fact that I had a complication, a bleed from my incision, and a seroma, which is just the loss of, which is a fluid collection under the skin. I had that 1 week postpartum, had to go back to the hospital. And as a result, I have home care nurses coming out who are doing wound care. The incision is closing. They did not actually suture it or anything. What they did in the hospital when I went back to L&D at the local hospital is just put steri strips on it and put me on antibiotics. And the goal was healing by secondary intention, meaning healing from the inside out. Because if you close a wound that opened up, you risk actual infection developing, and that's not what we were going for. So it is being packed with a silver dressing, which is kind of, it drains out all the extra gunk. The drainage has decreased a whole lot, so I'm happy about that. I still can't really do much in terms of housework, picking up stuff, bending down. The most I can lift is the girls, which is okay because they're not that heavy at this juncture, period. Did I just say period? Like I was dictating. I'm not going to even start over. Y'all go ahead and laugh at that. But I dictate all the time, so that's actually pretty funny. I'll have to tell Ann about that. That was a good one. But anyway, I digress. So I'm just sitting here. What's going on with the girls? So Naomi, when she was seen by the doctor 2 weeks ago, she was already up to 5 pounds from a birth weight of 4 pounds and 8 ounces. Nyla was up to 4 pounds 11 ounces from a birth weight of 4 pounds and 2 ounces. So they were doing good. They go back to the doctor next week for a pediatric weight check just to make sure everything is going okay. They did well. They came home with me, of course. Naomi had a short trip to the NICU right after birth. She was not connected to any CPAP or any machines or medications. She was just doing monitoring. So what happened was when they both first came out, for a little while, they both got oxygen and CPAP. They both were taken off. Nyla, she did what she was supposed to do. They suctioned her out. She snatched the tubes out of their hand. The smallest one in the room was just giving them trouble. So then Naomi, she was moving a little bit slower. So they did what they call transition, where they take you to the NICU. You're not necessarily admitted in the NICU. They're just watching you. She was there for a few hours. They brought her, they call it rooming in now, where the baby can either go to the nursery or they can room in with you. They brought her down to me, and then I sent both of the babies to the nursery at about 9 p.m. so I could sleep on the day of delivery. And the pediatrician came in the room, or neonatologist, excuse me, came in the room and said that Naomi had got a little color loss while she was eating. So she became dusky, and they're worried about her heart rate dropping. So they sent her back to NICU for evaluation. And she was there for a day. She did fine. Oh, sorry, Nyla's calling. She did just fine. And then she came back to the room with us on the 22nd, which was a Monday, about 6 p.m. We were all discharged from the hospital. Everybody was happy and healthy. I was about to say period again. So, since that time, the girls have been doing well. They're putting on weight. They are breastfed, and they are also supplemented because of their preterm nature. They were born at 35 weeks one day. So I give them breast milk, and they want me pumping 8 times a day. It's really 8 to 12 times a day per the lactation specialist. So they are on NeoSure, which is for premature infants. It's made by Similac. Also, the hospital told me something that I didn't aware of, and I wasn't aware of, and I'm waiting to see if I got approved. So when you have multiples, most of these companies have multiple programs where if you have twins or triplets, you can get free milk or formula from the manufacturer. So I sent everything to Abbott, which is in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm hoping that they at least send me one free can a month, because they're like $18 a can. So what I do is I fortify the breast milk, because breast milk is 20 calories. So to make it 24 calories, I use a measuring teaspoon of the NeoSure to get it up to 24 calories. So the girls, they are feeding well. I increase their volume by 5 every 2 weeks to make sure they're getting enough. They should be gaining anywhere from 5 to 8 ounces in a week per the pediatrician. So that's where the girls are. They're doing well. They're healthy, happy. We're going through a lot of preemie newborn diapers. So when they first came home, everything I got was newborn, because I anticipated that they would be 5 to 6 pounds. I just knew they were going to come in solid. Didn't I know that they were starting to show signs of growth restriction until I went to the doctor on the 16th, and then it became an issue of, let's get these babies out. Incidentally, just another update, I did get my pathology back on my placenta, and it was interesting that they can tell from the placenta, from where the vessels are inserted, they could tell how much of the placenta was going to baby B, which is Naomi, which she came in heavier, and she had 60% of the placenta, and then Nyla had 40% of the placenta. And also there are signs of deterioration on the maternal side of the placenta, the side that was attached to me, which is what the doctor suspected when she did the ultrasound, and showed that there had not been a lot of growth in the babies in the last 3 weeks, which is why she recommended, and when I say the doctor, I mean the maternal fetal medicine, why she recommended that my OB get the babies out. So if I could talk about some myths, I think everybody is scared in terms of going to the NICU, and my babies were not that sick, but overall, I felt that the environment was very supportive. The nurses were diligent. The physicians were diligent, even though they were doing monitoring. It's not as scary as I thought it would be. Nyla's getting fussy over there for some reason. They ate at 2 o'clock. It's only 3:30. So they eat every 2 to 3 hours. So this video is getting long. I just wanted to let you know the twins are doing well, give you some updates in terms of them. I'm doing well. I'm doing much better. My incision is healing. My nurses are really helping me with that. And one question you all did mention in terms of, somebody put this in the comment section regarding, do I think that my care was compromised because of health disparities in terms of color? So I'm going to say that I started off with my physician asking about maternal mortality, and because you go in as a person of color, and this is not to offend anybody because I love everybody. You go in as a person of color, you spend your whole life, no matter your socioeconomic status, your education level, you know there are gaps in care. You know that you can end up on the short end of the stick when you're dealing with the healthcare system simply because you're judged because of color. If we look at the data from the Centers for Disease Control, Black women, women of color, Black and brown women are dying at record numbers in childbirth. So I will say, my experience with delivering the twins made me understand more how these things could happen. The reason I say that is I feel like it's pretty much a healthy time in people's lives. So maybe healthcare providers aren't as diligent. So for instance, when I was in the hospital, I went in, the delivery, the surgical part went awesome, okay? It ran with absolute precision. 2 days after my delivery, you have the resident rounding. Now, I take blood pressure medication. I have for a long time. He said to me he was not starting my blood pressure medicine back. And I said, well, you need to start my blood pressure medication because my blood pressure is going to go up. Oh, when we deliver a placenta, people become hypotensive, so you don't need your blood pressure medication. With all due respect, sir, I'm going to need my blood pressure medication. So what starts to happen? My blood pressure creeps up like it usually does. Now, it's never dangerously high. It was well controlled in pregnancy. It's always well controlled on medication, but off of medication, it elevates to about 150/90. Okay. So my blood pressure starts to go up. So the next morning he comes. So I had the nurse page my OB because I know I need my blood pressure medicine. OB resumes my medication. The resident comes back the next morning. I see you contacted your doctor about resuming your blood pressure medication. Your blood pressure is probably going to drop and then we'll have to take you off of it. That never happened, okay? Same resident. Can you look at my incision because I feel like something's going on? Oh, no, it's okay. Put a regular piece of tape over the wound vac, okay? Later on, I find my incision had ruptured, come apart, wound dehisced, and then I had a major bleed. So as I'm there getting care, I realized that, oh, when my breast milk came in, this was so dramatic. I stood up to take care of one of the babies, and all of a sudden, I got the horrible chills. Like my temperature started to rise a little bit. It took all the strength in my body to actually hit the call light and get the nurse's attention. So they came in and they were just kind of like, oh, we don't know what's wrong. So I said, you need to page the attending because I'm not just going to sit here. I mean, I was shivering so bad. Now, I don't work in obstetrics at all. I had never heard of a person getting severe chills when their breast milk comes in. Had not heard of it. The OB comes up. She tells me that could be an issue. I was short of breath. I mean, it was a really wild episode. So I told her, please evaluate me for X, Y, and Z. These are the conditions I want to make sure I do not have because I do not feel well. Something's not right. So she says, okay. So then the physician assistant who looked all of 13 years old, she came back in the room and said, you know, sometimes when people are in healthcare, their anxiety can get the best of them. Please do not suggest that I am anxious, therefore asking for a proper medical evaluation. First of all, if someone had said you may experience these symptoms when your breast milk comes in, I wouldn't have been taken so off guard. But I'm saying all this to say, I'm starting to ramble. I'm saying all this to say I can understand how people can get dismissed and their concerns can just be taken for granted and they end up having some kind of complication. So for instance, the nurse came in my room and I noticed I was having a few palpitations. Could it have been anxiety? Yes, but I really do think it was because I needed my blood pressure medicine. So she said, well, I talked to my nurse supervisor. I asked her to page the physician. I talked to my nurse supervisor and they said that whatever she said, I can't even recall. I said, I'm sorry, that wasn't a question. That wasn't a question when I said page the physician. And I'm not being disrespectful. I don't want to speak to the middleman. Evaluate my health. So I'm saying all that to say, after having a baby, which by the way, y'all, lock it up, clink, clink, I'm done. I will not be pursuing any assisted reproductive technology ever again in the future. After having that bleed, can't do it, won't do it. I prayed for a baby. I got 2. God is good. Let's keep it moving. So anywho, what I realized is I see how people who go in healthy can end up in a dangerous situation in childbirth. Is very evident to me. So I don't think my care overall was compromised. I think my physician did a good job. But I do have some episodes where even I felt like he kind of was dismissive toward me. Like maybe I was being dramatic. But overall, I feel like as a person of color, no matter where you are in life, you tend to get that. Which is why I don't let people get away with that. You're not going to dismiss me. And like I told him, I need to be alive for these girls. So you need to be on top of your game. So anywho, that's my story. That's where I am. This is, like I said, 3.5 weeks postpartum. I'm doing well. I am down 32 pounds already. And I only gained 13, so I'm losing extra weight. I think a lot of it is the breast pumping, and I'm trying to get more food in, but it seems like it just takes you get up, you get the babies, you pump. I don't know. I feel like the day is gone before I know it. I do want to get out of the house a little bit more. Yesterday was Mother's Day. I went to the ATM, then I came home, and the twins had balloons and flowers for me, aka their dad. But he said, well, what else do you want for Mother's Day? And I said, to sleep. I had not been asleep since April 16th. So yes, I slept. And I slept upstairs by myself, and he took care of the babies all night and did their feedings. And let me tell you, I mean, I was out. I woke up at 6 o'clock, got in the shower, refreshed, ready to go. So anyway, I'm going to flip this camera around. Let me see. And, well, maybe I can't flip it around. I was going to try to show you the girls, but, I'm special, y'all. Oh. So this is going to be, I don't see the option to turn the camera around. So here we go. That's Nyla. She's upset, grumpy pants. And that's Naomi. Wait, let me see if you saw her. There she is. So there's the two of them. I'll work on my camera skills. And so yeah, that's that. So me and the girls are doing well. I will catch you all in another video real soon. Bye.